electric sound. Dance it up with no remark. Let's get off, let's cruise control. Feel the rhythm, heart and soul. Dizzy, I see a lot of old. Everybody go, go.
Mina na mina na mina 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 na mina na mina 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 na mina na mina mina na mina na mina 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 na mina 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 na mina na mina 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 na mina na mina.
She's in the zone, tapping away. She's got her own throne, buzzing keyboards, wires to go. Welcome to my jingles, let's start the show. Click, 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 she's ready to strike. Dancing on streams, cutie like raccoon power, shining bright. Second tunes, all through the night. Sound alive.
Hey, come smile in and saw that my day goes stream, that's fun. Catching tunes and sharing laughs. Together now we'll thrive. Oh, welcome to the fun tonight. Join us now. Everything feels right.
Kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret.
Hello, it's a Sunday and I'm streaming. There. Right, hello, yes, I decided stuff Shelby. In today's stream, Shelby installs a graphics card. Spends 4 hours doing it. Oh, no, that was yesterday. That was last night's stream, wasn't it? Sorry. Right, hello. Hameg time. I have components. Let's see if we can get it going. I still haven't got this power switch yet. That's still in the post. But I do have hopefully the rest of the components that I need. So, hello Dizziac, hello Chloe, hello Matt, hello Swarm. Hello anybody else who's being a renegade. Right, Hameg time. I was diagnosing it and playing with it and trying to get it working and determined that there are two dead components. One is the opto isolator, which connects the low voltage to the high voltage side of the CRT, and the other is the grid drive transistor, the low side grid drive transistor, an NPN, which is what turns the display on and off. And it was the display not being turned on that was the main problem. So hopefully these two components will fix it. Who needs a power switch when you have a clamp? Absolutely, Cobb, absolutely. Well, this is from late 86 I think it was, the date code on the chips. It has options actually on the back here that aren't installed for the two inputs and the trigger on there, and also a Z input on there, which doesn't exist. I'd quite like to implement the Z input, but it's only a binary Z input, on or off, no analog unfortunately. Hey, Daft Punkle. Right, gotta remember how we get into this now. There we go, that slides forwards. That's the one we want. Well, the mouse shit option was installed here, and the broken components are here, right where the mouse shit was. So it's not surprising they've gone. We've got opto-isolator there, and we've got the two push-pull drive transistors there, PNP, NPN. So hopefully these will fix that. I can actually show you the transistor in my little tester here. Possibly. My camera's a bit overexposed at the moment. Let me just turn that down a bit. Is it that way or is it the other way? That's that way. Okay. Right, so if I get the NPN out of here and pop it into here, I can't zoom in any further. Testing. No thank you, it says. Which is worse than it was saying before. Before it was saying, it's not a transistor, it's a diode. Now it doesn't even know what it is. It's dead. Very dead. Chloe's back with more drinks and an empty wallet. It's dead, Jim. So I have a new transistor for that, and I have new opto-isolators, or opto-couplers, whichever way you want to call them. The BF199 this is, supposedly. Hello! Hello, Ipis of Iuda. You should refer to Fubar, yeah. Daft Punkle's streaking, explains the bacon, indeed. Right, so this needs to be trimmed and realigned. I hope this is the correct transistor that they've sent me. It's a different shaped body. It does says BF199 on it. This one doesn't, but I can barely make out what it does say. It's probably some equivalent. The important thing really is not the, well, it's partially the transistor itself being the right type, as in it needs to be a nice high frequency one. The main thing is getting the pin out of the pins correct, because this transistor uses a different pin out to most commonly available transistors. Fortunately, these transistors, they obviously expected them to die a lot because they put them in a socket, which was nice of them. I do have spares. I always buy more than I need for something like this, just in case the dead components that I've found are not the cause, but merely the symptom. And something else on the board is causing them to explode. It's a Hot Rocks. So hopefully this will be a very simple, straightforward fix. Where's my tweezers gone? Right, opto isolator, or coupler, or whatever you want to call it. I hope this is really what it tells me it is. Okay, components installed. Hopefully that will be all we need to fix it. Oh, here we go again. With these dead goats. She's slaughtering off all the goats. Poor goats. This morning's goat was found halfway up a tree, having choked on a B-flat trumpet, which appeared to have been inserted slowly and with great care. As the goat was lowered to the ground, a wheezing G was emitted by the creature's collapsing lungs. The detective yak inspector obviously rated this one a scoring of 5.5, though the presence of the bow tie around the cadaver's neck might have brought the score up a bit. Obviously, this was the work of a music critic, and not the usual psychopath. Hello, Hot Rocks! Right, so we now get to try it. If I can get the right button, there we go. And I've got no stand on it now, have I? So you're going to get lots of reflection. There we go, that's the best position. K-Tronics, hello, thank you for the follow. Right. Let's turn the power off over there first, and then we shall connect the mains. And we shall get the clamp of knowledge. To hold the button in for us until I get the switch. Murder She Goat. Midsummer Murders, yes. No, Murder She Goat is much better. Absolutely. Right. Let's see what happens when I turn it on. Do we get a display? We do! We get a spot! Oh! And that is not in dual mode. That is in single mode. And that is in dual mode. And that is in chop mode. Oh! Results! That was a nice easy fix. I like fixes like that. So we are currently connected to ground, so we can center our trace and switch to the other channel. Ta-da, indeed. So both our channels are centered. There's a lot of noise on this invert switch though.
With 69 bits, a swarm of fit insects says.
Corgo 69, the clamp on the button, really ties the scope together.
Absolutely, it does. So now we might be able to use XY mode. And I need some probes really now, don't I? To get some signals into this thing. And then I want to have a play with the component tester, because I've been reading the manual about the component tester and it looks absolutely bloody awesome. Not the probes, the probes. The probe of investigation. Okay, so we want a 2 volt on there. And we shall take it out of XY mode. Put that up to DC. This knob here is still very noisy. Right. There we go. We're on AC line frequency. Right, so that should be 2 volts. That's currently set to that's on times 1. This is 1 volt per division, but is showing us considerably less. But that might be the alignment of the knob. Now that goes the full width. So that is 0.2 volts per division, and this is supposed to be a 2 volt peak to peak signal. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I've got those. I've got this connector in the front here in backwards. Oops. Okay, so 1 volt per division. No, and we're seeing a 2 volt signal. There we go. Yeah, my calibration connector is backwards. XY mode means we can do scope music on it, kind of, yes. There's no Z input, so we can't have it doing fancy things, but yes, we could do sort of visualization-y kind of stuff of music. And that's going to line up to pretty much there. That's looking good. Then if I put this one onto the other signal and we go into dual mode, let's put that onto DC. There we go. Put that on point. Is that on the? Yeah. That's. Oh, that's on times 10. There we go. 2 signals simultaneously. Let's invert one. Yay. It works. X magnification times 10. Woo. Well, I'm happy with that. I'm exceedingly happy with that. It works perfectly. Apart from the noisiness of this switch, but I can live with that. No Z input, what's the tatomite pedal? Yeah, I know. It does have an option in the schematics for a Z input, a binary Z input, which I would like to add at some point, if possible. But for now we can't. Now, ooh, I wonder, how can I get audio into this? What I want, really, is a cheap USB audio interface, I think. Something that's disposable, just in case. USB is here. I don't know if it's going to be in my USB box or in my audio box, my audio bag. got a feeling it might be in the audio bag actually. And audio bag just happens to be out here at the moment. Where's the pocket on this? There is a pocket somewhere. There it is, hiding under that flap. There's one. One cheap disposable USB audio interface. One that I don't mind if it goes bang. As long as it doesn't take out the rest of the computer, of course. Right, here is a phono cable. If I plug that into that, plug this into my computer, into that port of that hub, I shall bring up my audio routing. Right, so there's the monitor for the USB audio. There's the USB audio. We want that one there. Stream widgets go into there and into there. Right, now if I go for that view again, we'll go into XY mode. I shall hook the ground on to here. Let's AC couple these. I've got no way really of holding these on, unfortunately. Actually, maybe I shall cut this cable up. I don't think I've got a real need for it. Hundreds of these bloody things. Right. Wire strippers. I've got all the wires out of that, and there's still a strand there. Come on. Out you come. Thank you. What have you found now, Cobb? Okay, ground clips onto there. I need to strip the ends of these two wires. I shall have channel 1 on the red wire, channel 2 on the white wire. Plug this back into the audio. Well, that supposedly is music, but it's incredibly quiet. AC, AC. Don't want that. XY. X bars there. Ah, of course. In dual channel mode, it doesn't work too well, does it? So that's on 0.3, that's on 0.3. I'm not sure that XY mode is really working that well. Of course, it might be the fault of this knob. You just get a blur. A Wi-Fi adapter for the external Amiga floppy drive port. Oh dear. No, we're not really getting music. Why not? That should be coming straight from Stream Widgets. That should be all the nice music that we're listening to. I'm just going to turn down desktop audio a moment, and then I'm going to crank the music right up on here. There we go.
With 69 bits, Swarm of Dead Insects says,
Corgo 69, there are special scope music tracks out there for maximum effect.
I know there are, but that means finding them. Right, so this is now hopefully running a bit better. I've cranked the audio right up. So it should affect all the jingles and everything. Like that. That was a fart. When am I porting Doom over to it? Never.
Alright, I can help you with that. Please hold while I transfer you to someone who can help you with that.
What?
Let's move this a bit
Mr. Hold
so that you can actually
music.
see it behind the banner thing.
Hold music. Thank you for holding. Your call is very important to us.
You were right, Majenko. I do apologise.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
No! No!
Scope Doom. Yeah, but it needs a Z input. I don't have the Z input. Because without the Z input, it'll just be a mess. Actually, if I get my... Where are we? That one there, put that into here as well. And that one into there.
How can there be an order to abandon the Prime Directive?
Absolutely. It's a bit quiet. I was trying to add my microphone to it, but it's too quiet. Doesn't really work. But yeah, it is functional.
Sausage in a bun. Dear old sausage in a bun. Gimme sausage in a bun.
There's some quite good little squiggly bits in there. It's all very noisy though. I wonder if the focus can help. No, that's about as well focused as we could get it. Sausage on the scope.
Oh my.
Right, anyway, that's enough of that. Enough messing around. We've got serious work to do. Disconnect. Unplug. No, not that today. Come out of that mode. Let's just sort the focus out. That should still be focused fairly well. Yeah, that focus is good. Let me put this back to how it should be. Turn these down. And then this can turn back up again. Right, component tester. That is what we really want to play with. Well, that's what I really want to play with anyway. And that's the component tester down here. Let's lower this down again. The theory is you put a banana jack cable in there, a banana jack cable in, you can't see it because my hand's in the way, a banana jack cable in there, and a banana jack cable in there. That's a ground pin, that one. So from there to ground, and then you put your component in between the two, and this tells you whether the component's working or not, and various things about it. It's basically a rudimentary curve tracer. Just without variable voltage, whatever. It's let's find an LED, and I'll need a cable. These ones from my power supply will do nicely. So we put jack in there, and we put Jill in there, and we stick a component in it, and it gives us a curve trace of said component. One LED. Find the forward voltage of the LED. Woo. Look at that. This is how little Jack and Jills are born, yep. And if we turn the LED around, there we go. That's, if I can get this to sit well. There is our, come on, connect. Not very good cables these, they're cheap connectors. We can't change anything about those. All we can do is change the X position. I got it up on the scope indeed. So that is the curve from an LED. It's a white LED, so I'd expect it to be about 3 volts. So if that's 1 volt per... no. I don't quite know where it needs to go. I think you can set a short circuit and it's fine with it. Yeah, that's a short circuit, so that lets us set the X position. Okay. So that's on... well, I don't know what the scale is of this. What? Because the controls here have no effect whatsoever on it. It's all detailed in the manual, and I'm not sure where the manual is now. That was very nice of you there, Dizziac, dropping one of those on us. Whoops, I just looked straight into the LED and it's well, it's as flickery as Shelby's screen.
COM 2015 says, UDCing.
I shall find Manuel. Manuel should be in my downloads somewhere. That'll be it there. Right, Manuel. Here's Manuel. These are the components that we've just replaced, in case you're interested. The optocoupler and the low side drive transistor. Right, there is on the same circuit this section here, optional Z modulation TTL input. And I don't know how much of this circuit actually exists. It might just be the connector we need, which would be nice. To give us a Z input. But for now, there's all our test results. So, testing diodes. Diodes normally show at least their knee in the forward characteristic. It doesn't tell you. Using the Componi tester. I've always wanted a Componi tester. The CT is switched on by depressing the CT push button. You've got no friends. Nobody likes you. Feeling depressed yet? Right. The button's depressed. This makes the vertical preamplifier and the time-based generator inoperative. A shortened horizontal trace will be observed. It is not necessary to disconnect scope input cables unless in-circuit measurements are to be carried out. In the CT mode, the only controls which can be operated are intensity, focus and expos. All other controls and settings have no influence on the test operation. Plug-in cables. Testing resistors, where you're looking at the slope for a resistor. Capacitors, you're looking at the circle, and the same with inductors. Just diodes show their knee, but it doesn't tell you what the actual scale of it is at all. No mention of scale. God, chat's wandered off into faulty towers now. Poor chat. I really pity you, chat. So you can test transistors with it. That's what you get from the 3 possible combinations. The manual only tells you only to test discharged caps. No fun. Well, if you try testing a charged cap, you might just blow the fuse in it.
My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I
So no, you can't actually really measure the components, but you can see that they're working. Scale is an illusion, yep. So all I can safely say really with this component tester is that LED works. Which I think we can tell just by looking at it. Let's find something else to test. Let's find a resistor or two. Actually, even better. I've never really used this. Now is the time to use it. Covered in dust because I've never used it. And that's a little decade resistor thing. Right. Okay. As we decrease the resistance, this is on pretty high resistance at the moment. As we decrease resistance, oops, the slope goes upwards. The closer we get to a short circuit, the more vertical it gets. So that's 1 ohm. These are rubbish cables. There's also very noisy switches in this. I think there's some deoxit on it. Anyway, let's go for 50, if it will. I'm not sure how good this box is actually. That's 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. That's 1K. That's 500 ohms. 50 ohms, hardly moves at all at that one, does it? Again, it just really shows you that the resistor works. Doesn't really show you what the resistor is. Oh, you can tell if it's low resistance or high resistance, basically. But anything other than that, it's just, yeah. It's a resistor, it's a straight line. That's about all it tells you. Capacitors. Where's my box of capacitors? There's my box of capacitors. Grab a random capacitor. This is a 470 microfarad. And this gives us a straight line. Because the AC voltage that's applied across it is almost going straight through it, because it's, what, 50 hertz? So it's just passing straight through that capacitor. Let's try something much tinier. 100 nanofarads. Woo! Circle. Well, sort of ellipse. If I could get it to clip on. Let's zoom this in a bit if I can. Come on, give me control. You can almost make out a bit of an ellipse there. Let's find something somewhere between the two. That looks like a 22. Woo. Talking rubbish cables, you're watching an old retro channel video about Amstrad 6128 and his bench PSU came with a DSE parallel jack to positive and negative terminal cable thing, and the voltage drop was ridiculous on it considering it came with the power supply. There would have been about 2 strands of copper in there. Let's find something smaller but not too small. What's this one? This is a little tantremolum. Whee! There we go. I'd say that capacitor works. Kind of. So this looks like it's a perfectly working scope. All I need now is the switch. Where's my dead transistor? There's my dead transistor. Right, so transistors, we should get various knees showing up. And we all like a nice bit of knee. So this is the dead transistor. That one's open circuit. That one's open circuit. Other direction. Open circuit. Everything is open circuit on this transistor. completely deaded. It's deadified. Don't need a switch when you have the clamp. Yeah, but I can't really use the clamp and have the case on it. That's the problem. Otherwise, I'd just stick with the clamp. Where's my new transistors gone? I've lost my transistors now. Oh, there they are. Right, this is one of the transistors that I've just bought in. Let us test one. This is middle pin to outer pin. And that gives us that one. So that is a BC junction apparently. So I'm connected to the B and the C. If I connect to those two, that is also a BC junction. Okay. That one there was BE junction. That's base emitter. That's base collector. Okay. So emitter collector should be a straight line with a little kink at the end. But it's not. It's showing the same as base collector. Weird. It should be a good transistor. It's brand new, never been used. Let me just confirm the pin out on here. 3 is the base. So it thinks it's a PN. Maybe it thinks it's a PNP. BF199 is an NPN. Why does that think it's a? This seems to think it's a PNP. Is it the PNP or is it the NPN? Whatever, this should be working. Where are we? Find the right schematic. BF199 is NPN. But this seems to think it's PNP. Weird. Anyway, it's working.
Majenko Tech hydrate immediately. Seriously, you're drier than a week-old baguette. Get some water! Exclamation idiot.
And drier than a week-old baguette. Right, well, what else can we test? Where else can we stick these probes? I've run out of ideas now. I've done my stream. Maybe I'll finish the stream now and we'll head over to Shelby. Or maybe not. But hopefully the switch for this will arrive within the next couple of days. It's supposed to have arrived sometime between last Saturday and next Saturday, so calm down, Swarm, calm down. There's no goats here. We'd know if there was, there'd be a G-pin. I know what we'll do. Let's take this out. Grab a probe. Let's do some frequency tests. And local gin that's made with sea salt and seaweed, among other usual. Okay. Sea salt and seaweed. Different. I have here a little frequency generator thing, a little clock generator. I haven't used it in a long time. I don't know if it works. Oops. It needs external power, like so. AC couple that. Okay, I will need, that's the sine wave output. I've got no ground connection yet. What can I use for ground? Let's just stick this capacitor into ground and clamp onto its leg. There we go, that's better. Right. So we are on the 100 to 3 kilohertz range at the moment. That's the course adjustment. That all looks nice and linear at that range, doesn't it? Let's go for the next range up, which is 10 to 100 kilohertz. That's the next one. So 10 to 100 hertz, that is, sorry. That's really slow. It's this one I want, 5K to 65 kilohertz. Bit of a dip off at the end there. Hey, Betamink. Right, up to the final one, 65 kilohertz to 1 megahertz. Yeah, we can see 1 megahertz quite happily. Oh, it's starting to. Oh, we're really dipping off there. That might be the fault of the generator, actually. Sort of hitting the very, very limit of its frequencies. Right, so we should be. What are we set to at the moment? We are on 20 microseconds per division. So that's let's just bring up my calculator a moment. That should only be if that's 20 per division, is that actually correct? No, it's not. This is not aligned right. Because that should be going around to there. Okay, we are at 5, I think, to 1.5 Okay, 0.5, 1, 2, 5 microseconds per division. Which should be giving us 200 kilohertz per division. So if I just adjust this up slightly, X position to there. So that should be about 200 kilohertz, supposedly. Let me get my multimeter. And see what this can measure up to. I'm not sure whether this can do 200 kilohertz. Ooh, 210 kilohertz. Close, not a bad guess that. Considering it's just an analog knob and I'm eyeballing it, let's take this down to exactly 200 kilohertz if I can. .16. Okay. So if that's there, that is running a fraction fast on here. I can calibrate that way, I can't calibrate the other way. So I think calibrating the horizontal timing is going to be tricky. But we are close enough there. I don't need ultra accuracy from this thing. All I need from this thing is pretty pictures. And a slight sense of irradiation. So we're now on 2 per division. So that should be giving it us on, no, hang on. Yeah, that should be 2.5, isn't it? And that's just slightly over 2.5. So yeah, the X is running very slightly fast. But to be honest with you, I don't care. I think the drop off on amplitude is the fault of the little signal generator here, since this is a 20 megahertz oscilloscope. What frequency are we running at the moment? 1.2 megahertz. 1.228 megahertz to be precise. And that is nice and crystal clear and no distortion at all. That is lovely. No flickering, no anything. I don't plan to use it for actual precision work. No, absolutely. Back with a chili. Oh, yum. No, a simple little one like this is not really precision work. It's not a precision grade scope. It's a quick test. Is there a signal scope? But what it does have is the TV synchronization, which is excellent for locking on to composite video signals in old computers to test if they're there or not. Which is nice. One thing my current scope doesn't have. So that is a plus. Right. Well, use it to check if something is high when it should be low, etc. Yeah. We can use it to check clock signals. We can use it to check bus signals, things like that. Yeah. And it looks so much cooler than a DMM. It's a warm green glow CRT, yes. How a scope should be. None of this digital claptrap. The 10 meg version was good enough for fixing VDUs, printers and systems back in the 80s, absolutely. Yes, the 20 megahertz is overkill. Right, I just want to have a quick look to see if T503 exists. T503 is going to be on here somewhere, because T503 is the transistor that's used to control the Z input. There's T503. There's two together down there. And yes, it exists. T503 is there. So it looks like this has got all the circuitry for the Z input. It just needs connecting. So where does the input connect to? That's the question. So it goes through this resistor network to a connector, an unlabeled connector. Now, T504 is the T504 is the chopper blanking. T505 is the sweep blanking. T503 is the Z blanking, or as they call it, the Z mod blanking. All of this lot here is basically the blanking circuit. Those three are basically an OR circuit, which pulls down, or an AM circuit, whatever, that pulls down or turns off this LED. When that LED is off, this transistor turns off, which basically raises the grid up. And it was that transistor there, T501, is the one that had died and causing the problems. As soon as we replaced that and the opto isolator, it sprang back to life. So we're looking at this little section of circuit here. If I can identify that connector, then we can wire in a an extra connector for the Z modulator, which is an optional.
From Athens cloak.
It's a PC.
PC mothers knows what vintage means. Old machines with stories to tell. Now the streams are loud and it runs so well. So
You're thinking of sending a hand vacuum cleaner costing roughly €60 for battery repacking. Is it worth it? It has a 5-cell battery pack. Depends how much it costs to have it refurbed. If it's just some cheap thing off Amazon or something, not really. If it's something like a Dyson or Shark or something like that, possibly. Right, so where's our circuit? So that's ground. That's going into the diode there. So this is our base, which is going into... No, hang on. I really need this open twice. Okay, so the base goes into 531. D517 is there. That's there, is that. So that goes into there. Hang on. No, that's... No, that's... This is labelled wrong. They've labelled this wrong. Because you've got T504, which they've labelled as that one, going into R531, which is that one. They've got these labelled backwards. That one is T503, which goes into R531. Then into the 552 and 533 resistors. So it's that point there is where the connector must be. And yes, there is. If you look on the board, get the right one. Look on the board at that point, right, those are the two resistors. That's the Z Blanca, and there, just above the two resistors here and here, which are the voltage divider across it, just there is a little pin. That pin there is our Z blank. Everything is there except the connector on the back panel. Fantastic. Nicely modelable indeed. It's a shame it's only TTL input, but still. Check to see if there is a plastic plug over the Z in hole. Yes, there is. The whole of the back panel has cutouts for things. You've got the 2 channels, you've got the trigger, and you've got 1 extra, which will be where that is. And that goes, well, there'll be supposedly an extra PCB or something that screws, or a module that screws into the back there. And then a wire routes through somehow. Because there's nothing on the back for it. So we can fit a connector. Although these are labelled like a sawtooth wave and Z and Y rather than 1 and I would have expected it to be sawtooth wave for trigger and 1 and 2 for the 2 channels, and then the optional Z be on the extra cutout. But no, it's sawtooth ZY. So I'm not quite sure what that's saying there. Let's see what the manual says about, let's clear that, about the back panel, if anything. Sawtooth is sweep input. Sweep input. All the detail you could want about the front panel, power socket, but nothing about that, and I don't recall seeing anything on the schematics for it. So I'm wondering if they used the same back panel for multiple devices with different features. Y is probably external trig. I don't know. Same panels, same boards. Okay. So where do those connect to then? You'd expect. That's the external trigger input there. That's the only external trigger input, and that's on the front. No, nothing but optional things in there. I don't understand. No, I don't see where it is. EY board. This is basically the amplifiers or attenuators that begin at the front end. Nothing there. Front panel external trigger. No, I am seeing nothing. That's the only optional input. I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it here now. I've done all I can on it. We've tested it all out. It's working nicely. I think I'm going to go and say hello to our Arizonan friend for a while. So thank you very much for joining me this evening. It's been fun. We got it working, apart from the switch. All we need now is that switch. So right, I'm gonna run my outro. Don't get too technical on that. Absolutely. I'm not going to raid him. I'm just going to go and visit him because most of you are already there, aren't you? Anyway, so yeah, I shall see you tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow for something, I don't know what. Probably that, yes. Who's nicked me fucking batteries?
Damn, I'm looking good.
Okay, here's an outro message channeling my best Majenko bot derangement. Right, that's that. Seriously, what a Gestures Bakery mess. Huge thanks to everyone who stuck around, you beautiful chaotic specimens. A massive shout out to Stream Elements Majenko bot. I roll. Hot Rocks Girl, who frankly needs to lay off the fermented cabbage. 2 farts isn't a record. Swarm of dead insects. I piss over Yuda. Chloe Raccoon, Martin X, Beat Me, Fatty McFartface, Daft Uncle, You Weirdo, Majenko Tech, Pretty Cess Fuzzy, Blood, PC Margus, and Lewisoft 10. And a belated welcome to K-Trolix, you shiny new follower. Seriously, you guys are something. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button if you haven't already or don't. Whatever. I don't care.
Thanks for watching and try not to explode.
Last maniacally.
someone's gonna ruin the souffle.
Wait.